The lack of a boarding school where we can teach students with special needs was a matter of great concern for both the entire Gurage community and us. Most of them are youth who remain in the neighborhood. It's not like the old days when they would go to the city. What will happen to these youth? Once, when Professor Burhanu was visiting these southern schools, he had toured it. We happened to meet on an occasion and brought it up. He, in turn, had met with some investors and asked them, "Why did you fail to complete this school?" When the history of modern education in Gurage is raised, it is known that the community was among the early ones to join modern education. If Amard was established 30 or 40 years ago, and it would have shaped generations. Regarding Amard Academy, since it's a matter of building the lives of the youth, and as we can see from the current trend in that area, it is a time when most of the youth, most of the people, are migrating to the city. What does this bring? The area is losing its resident, capable, and productive population. Therefore, everyone must contribute to the effort being made to build youth who can grow and develop the area, after having job opportunities created for them or finding employment opportunities there. Now, we have come from various districts and towns, and I think we have all come to an understanding now. The construction began in 2013, and I am very happy and feel very lucky to enter here as we start the 9th grade this year. If it were said that all these things would be fully fulfilled before students could enter, I wouldn't have found this opportunity.
Modern education first entered the Gurage land 30 years after the first government school was established in Ethiopia. At the time, well-to-do individuals of Gurage descent and the two pioneering Gurage development organizations worked successfully, making a positive contribution to the expansion of schools. Because they were able to embrace education early on, many nation builders emerged from the womb of this community. This is why the Gurage made their own contribution to nation building. This is also why, over the past century, the Gurage, largely through their own initiative, built numerous schools and became a beacon of knowledge for the surrounding area. Amard boarding school is a result of this same ancestral community mindset, brought to fruition through the cooperation of the government and the public.
The tradition of educational development within the Gurage community spans back quite a long time. Ever since 1934 Ethiopian calendar 1941/1942 GC, the community maintained a close relationship with the federal government. As a result, it is one of the early societies to have gained access to educational services. Following that period, during the regimes of Emperor Haile Selassie, the Derg, as well as under the EPRDF, the vast majority of the schools found within the zone were built through community collaboration. Even though these efforts primarily focused on expanding basic accessibility rather than shifting toward highly refined quality, the community has continuously driven progress by constructing schools, developing infrastructural roads, and building healthcare centers. Above all, by establishing schools wherever needed, they made education accessible to all local areas through an exceptionally broad and deep level of community participation, a tradition that remains strong to this day. We can say that it is an area where modern education was initiated early within the Gurage zone. Therefore, the attention given to education by the community, the Gurage community, is related to its high level. At this time, it is very appropriate to mention Father Francois Marcos. In this Catholic Church, there are fathers. As they were individuals who realized the value and benefits of education early on, they showed that education is the source of everything for the Gurage community. By opening schools from primary to secondary levels, they made a high contribution. When modern education began, it also started in our area. Even when systems changed, the attention given to education remained high.
ከፍተኛ ነበር።
ህዳር 22 2016
The focus given to education was very high. 2016 Ethiopian calendar, which is in November, we had a joint meeting with the students. There was a motivation program for the students who completed grade 12 in the 2015 academic year and were entering universities, those entering remedial programs, and all those joining technical and vocational schools. For that program, we invited the head of the zonal education department, Otto Mibrate. When we finished our program, we talked about the boarding school. I asked Otto Mibrate if we could visit it. Otto Mibrate then asked our zonal chief administrator, Otto Lacha. Otto Lacha went as far as sending the zonal construction and urban development head with us to the school site in Gubri, and we went and visited it. After our visit, Professor Berhanu had similarly visited the school when he was touring southern schools. We had met on an occasion and discussed it. He had also met with some investors and asked them why they couldn't finish the school. Later, a few young investors expressed their willingness to complete it, including individuals like and many other people showed interest. Following that, we brought everyone together. They were told to connect with the committee, and they connected with me. Otto Ednikachu and I were the first to meet. After we spoke, we agreed to include Otto Lacha in the discussion. I called Otto Lacha and explained the situation to him. Otto Lacha was genuinely delighted and told me, "What bigger project do I have than this? I will come immediately." Then, on Tassas 3, 2016 Ethiopian calendar, which is in December, at 10 a.m., he came to Otto Yidnikachu's office, which is located near Tor Hilok. We met there, discussed the details, and arranged for the plans to be presented and reviewed. Through these steps, we deliberated on what to do next and how to raise funds. The discussion turned toward how to organize the money collection, which ultimately led to the decision to establish a foundation.
አንድ ፋውንዴሽን እናቋቁም ወደሚል ተደረሰ።
ሀገር ገጸ ምድሯ አሊያም ሰውና ተፈጥሯ ብቻ አይደለችም።
A country is not just its topography or its people and nature alone. A country also includes the hope hidden within it. A country means bright, untouched opportunities waiting to emerge. Today, that light is breaking out in the heart of Gurage, Ethiopia, because this campus is a center of knowledge prepared for youth with extraordinary talent and sharp perception. Our hope is here, and our desire is here. The country we want to live in with our children is also right here. This compound is not just a place where our students learn, but a place where learning, knowing, working, and thinking are respected. It is here that we closely monitor every spark, every question, every spark of creativity, and every heartbeat of our children, making it the dwelling place of our vision and hope.
What makes this institution special is that, in terms of education at the city level, the private sector has contributed significantly. Schools are opened by merchants, schools are opened by the private sector, and schools are opened by religious institutions. However, at the rural level, working collaboratively in this manner is a first-time experience. Therefore, many business owners residing in the city came together to establish the better foundation. Through this effort to create an institution that maintains educational quality, they are striving to leave their own mark. For us, as church leaders, this is something we have long wished for. Looking ahead, the Catholic Church in the Gurage zone is one of the pioneering institutions that laid the foundation for educational growth. We can remember Abba Francois. Ever since education began in the Gurage zone long ago, they established and managed more than 14 educational institutions. I found this school to be in very good condition. In my opinion, this school will produce many students and bring in highly knowledgeable teachers. Relying on the knowledge they provide us, we must strive to reach a better level.
I feel incredibly lucky to be here, especially with the school opening its doors just as we are entering the 9th grade. Construction actually started way back in 2013, so seeing it finally open right now makes me so happy. I worked really hard to get in, and honestly, it's completely different from my old school in the best way possible.
ከዛም አልፎ ደግሞ በጣም ልዩ ችሎታ ልዩ ተሰጥኦ
The absence of a boarding school where we can teach students with special talents and abilities was a significant source of frustration for both the all-Gurage community and us. There are boarding schools at all zonal levels around us. Therefore, although we were the first when modern education began in this regard, the absence of a boarding school to accommodate students with special talents, special needs, and high potential prompted us to take action. Driven by this frustration, around 2012, the zonal administration laid the foundation on a 15-hectare site in the Adushi Aturcham area of this Chahawarida. Construction then began, but in the meantime, it dragged on for a very long time due to budget constraints and various other reasons. COVID-19 also emerged in the middle of it. Because it had been delayed for so long, starting last year in 2017, the zonal administration allocated a high budget and has been executing the work, recognizing that this school's construction must be completed, a demand the community consistently raises at every forum. Currently, in our zone, the accessibility of education in both rural and urban areas has created very favorable conditions for obtaining education locally. However, a major and severe problem here, as you all know, is that within these past 3 years, particularly recently, a new curriculum was designed and implemented. When the overall quality of education is properly measured against standards, the results indicate that most of our journey over the past 30 years was a period where we focused heavily on the accessibility of education. Amard, as a Gurage community institution, was established 30 or 40 years ago and was an institution that should have shaped generations. This is because the Gurage community has a lot of potential. In terms of the potential it possesses, this institution should have existed 40 or 50 years ago. Its establishment now is still a great achievement. When this institution becomes operational and is established, many stakeholders will have participated. As is known, the foundation stone was laid in 2012. Due to various reasons, it was interrupted for 4 years without becoming operational or being completed.
ተግባራዊ ሳይሆን ወይ ሳያልቅ ተቋርጦ ነበር። ያበሩስ በነበርኩበት ጊዜ
During my time at Yabarus, the students we accepted largely reflected all 3 levels of student performance, incorporating high, medium, and low achieving students into our teaching. Secondly, we used to teach under conditions where there was a high number of students in a single classroom. Now, however, here at Amard, we accept high-achieving students or those at an advanced level whose learning receptivity is high. Furthermore, within a single classroom, we are teaching by accepting students in a manner that maintains an optimal class mix, not exceeding 30 students.
አንድ ክፍል ውስጥም ደግሞ የተማሪ የክላስ ጥምርታን ባሟላ ሁኔታ ከ30 ተማሪ ባልበለጠ ሁኔታ ተቀብለን እያስተማርን ነው።
የአማርድ አዳሪ ትምህርት ቤት ከተለያዩ ቤተ ጉራጌ የመጡ
Amard boarding school has gathered 120 children together from different Gurage households, all coming from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. This integration has forged a space where tolerance, mutual trust, and a sense of shared ownership are learned from the very beginning. As they gather, study, and play together, it serves as a great example of how they are practicing to lead the country and the future together. Whether they become the great scientists of tomorrow or professionals we will find in various fields, these children are learning humility, local awareness, and love of country together right here, since this is a boarding school where they live far from their families, yet form a new family, and prepare for a national mission. It is a center for creating tomorrow's national hope, leaders of science, art, and literature.
The students are those who came from each warida. They are the ones who came based on their quota from the 11 wardas and the 5 city administrations. Additionally, we didn't just accept them based only on the list sent by the wardas or solely on their previous results, we also administered an entrance exam to them. It was Zubayder who administered the test to them. A test conducted under very strict discipline was given to them. Based on their results, 120 students were selected and have arrived.
ሁሉም ነገር ኦልሞስት በሚባል ደረጃ
Almost everything here is fully ready. Walking around this week and seeing the progress has been so exciting. They are even building a sports field right now, so we have a place to relax after studying. Everything is coming together beautifully, and we're just really hoping the final touches are finished soon.
I have gotten to know children who came from different wardas, and we have become friends. I see them as brothers. We showed each other mutual adaptability and a sense of diversity. Another beneficial thing here is that everything is fully fulfilled. Back home, with the family or in the neighborhood, there was a lot of work, and we didn't have much time for reading. Here, it is open all the time. When hiring the required number of teachers who are believed to possess academic excellence, some subjects still faced a shortage of teachers after the hiring process was completed. When the administration realized that they needed to utilize university staff on a temporary loan basis for a certain period, and when this invitation came to us, I decided to help out for a limited duration. We initiated some classes, set the standard, and decided we should start working together after discussing various approaches to get them started at that pace. That is why I am teaching this class. As I mentioned earlier, the government laid the initial foundation, and today, with a spirit of great partnership, it has opened up this field, saying, let us work together. This responsibility of providing opportunities to raise and awaken the youth of the Guarage community so they can contribute to their country in the future, is something the government could have claimed to do alone. However, believing that there is value in identifying who else is available in the locality to make a meaningful contribution or add value to the education sector, the government extended an invitation to the Catholic Church, the private sector, and the Zibidar Foundation to participate. That is how we became involved.
በ18 በዚህ ዓመት ማለት ነው የመጀመሪያ ዙር 120 ተማሪዎችን ተቀብሏል። የ8ኛ ክፍል ውጤት ካለፉ ተማሪዎች
In 2018, meaning this year, the first round accepted 120 students. Out of the students who passed the 8th grade exams, more than 370 of those who passed the entrance exam prepared by the Amard Academy were considered. We accepted 120 of these students and began teaching. When this started, we began with what was available. Not everything was fully completed. There are still unfinished matters. Currently, there is a dormitory capacity that can accommodate more than 460 students. There are classrooms that can host more than 1,000 students. Therefore, it cannot be said that it is fully completed. For instance, we have now accepted 120 students. What prevented us from accepting more than this was the need for additional dormitories. If it remains at its current state, the accommodation capacity will likely be filled after 3 years. The classrooms are sufficient to accommodate up to 1,000 students. Therefore, additional blocks need to be constructed. For this, additional resources are required.
የመጠጥ ውሃ ራሱን የቻለ አሁን ከወልቂጤ ውሃ ከሚሄደው ነው ጠርፈን ያስገባነውና ራሱ የቻለ የ24 ሰዓት ውሃ አገልግሎት መኖር አለበት። ስለዚህ ይሄንንም የውሃኑን ለማሟላት ተጨማሪ አቅም ያስፈልጋል።
ለነሱ ትልቅ ምስጋና ነው ያለኝ ምክንያቱም
I am so deeply grateful to everyone who made this happen. This project has been in the works for a long time. If the school had opened later, after all these amazing facilities were finished, I would have already been in a higher grade at another school and missed this chance entirely. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who worked so hard and held all those meetings to push this forward. Without their dedication and contributions, none of us would be standing here today.
I think you will understand the main benefits of a boarding school. Primarily, it doesn't just solve the general education quality problem. If you build a good, modern boarding school, children will start studying and reading with the mindset of, first of all, I will get into a boarding school. They will compete with one another. Families will also plan and work toward having their children enter a boarding school. Likewise, If you gather children who have better minds and better capabilities into one center and support them with better resources, better teachers, better nutrition, better libraries, and better laboratories, when you gather and support them like this, it becomes a center where you raise a generation that is competitive not just at a national level but at an international level. Section 6. Observations and the need for better infrastructure. When you look at the benefits of boarding schools, perhaps in the areas that started them previously, the benefits seen by their communities or the generations that came out of there, they are generations that became very productive for the country itself. This is true in very many places. So, perhaps if we had this kind of school in our area, why shouldn't we start it? It has been a long time since we raised this question. We used to raise it in every place. Because there are very brilliant generations. We have seen them when they learn, both in their results and when you see the children who come out of different places. If they scored such results where there is no infrastructure, in this kind of condition, it was obvious and well known that if they got better infrastructure. Therefore, starting it now in Jaifin, even as a beginning in its current state, is very exemplary and shows a lot of promise. But there are things that need to be corrected, and many things remain to be done. There should be a better library, and better laboratories must be set up or established. Especially by supporting students and learning with the help of various technologies, we are able to make our education simpler. Since we are being taught by highly qualified and selected teachers, we are receiving a very high quality of educational service.
They are children, it's true. And since they are children, we receive them from their parents and take on that parental responsibility here. And even though we don't know the parents personally, it's as if they have handed them over to us. We have become like parents to them, feeling that parental connection, and we work with them appropriately and carefully. Whenever our teacher had to step out, we would gather in our assigned study groups and lift each other up. If there was a concept I didn't understand, my classmate would patiently break it down for me. And whenever she ran into something tricky, I'd return the favor and explain it to her.
I am very happy to get a free scholarship at Amard Academy. Additionally, Amard Academy provides a much better quality of educational service. Compared to my previous school, the book supply is much better here. We are learning from teachers who are experienced and highly knowledgeable in their fields. We are also learning by using various modern technological tools. As you can see, the compound is still under construction. Enhancing the aesthetics and introducing additional structures is a continuous process that is being carried out rapidly. Regarding the facilities, students have access to food services and reside in the dormitories while they pursue their studies. As a boarding school, we have 16 classrooms in total, 9 of them are for boys, and the remaining ones are for girls.
ክፍሎች አሉን። 9ኞቹ የወንዶች ናቸው፣ ቀሪዎቹ የሴቶች ናቸው ማለት ነው።
This great construction has become a symbol of Gurage unity in this era, a symbol of commitment and cooperation between the government and elites and between the government and the public. Because of this, and since there are still unfinished parts of the vision and various buildings remaining, everyone who loves their country and their hometown is expected to do a great deal of work to achieve excellence. This is why the board members worry so deeply about the sustainability of the school.
The Zibidar Foundation was basically established with this purpose in mind. As I mentioned earlier, a few business owners came together with the belief that a project which had been delayed for 5 years should not be allowed to fail. They mobilized the community and added our own resources to ensure that the construction was completed successfully. When considering how to provide assistance, they established an organization known as the Zibidar Foundation. That is how the beginning took shape. I have one child who is a student here. Through my child, there are also 4 other children of my friends and neighbors who attend. As parents, we took turns checking on them. Therefore, seeing this kind of institution established in our zone for the first time is something that brings immense joy. It is truly a wonderful thing. Most of these children are under the age of 15. We used to have to wake them up early in the morning and provide them with food. But now, they have advanced to this level. To be able to join a place like this on their own, wake up on their own time, have their breakfast, and follow their education is a massive achievement. The fact that the zone has made this possible brings us a very profound sense of happiness. Truly, it does. The construction required to admit at least the first round of students has been successfully completed by the Zibidar Foundation. This was done with the support of the majority of the board members, as well as a few business owners and specific development support organizations who contributed to the effort. Through this collaboration, it serves as an exemplary milestone in transforming and improving the quality of education. This is clearly evident, and even from what we have witnessed in this short period, the Amard boarding school has deeply engaged many parents. They have entered a mindset of eagerly discussing how they must change their children's educational environment. Now, it can be said that the community is truly understanding the value of this initiative. My child, he competed, achieved a very good result, and earned the qualifications to enter this school. As for the institution itself, this is something we have long wished for, and one of our greatest desires has now been fulfilled. Therefore, we hope this educational institution will continue to thrive for a very long time. For a long time, we used to hear about boarding schools from various regions achieving impressive results. Now that such an institution has been established in our own zone, it brings us immense happiness. Looking forward, we deeply desire for our children's minds to yield successful outcomes, making them a source of pride. We hope they attain even better results and grow to serve their country. When the Zibidar Foundation was established, its main rationale was that the local natives would provide help. I may not have the exact figure, but an amount estimated around 100 million has been obtained from the local community. The zonal government, as I mentioned to you earlier, Adolacha, came to us saying, I do not have a project greater than this. The usual trend is going to the officials, but the officials rarely come to you. He initiated it. Therefore, a desire to work together emerged, and that is why we have reached this point today. To be honest, even now, the largest amount of funding is coming not from any other force, but from the zonal government itself. However, there is a very significant support in terms of both finance and knowledge from the Zibidar side. Therefore, we can always be effective when the community, the investors, the educated, and the government work together. A separate rush will not get any party anywhere. Especially when you look at Guarage, a vast amount of capable and educated people are located outside the zone. Therefore, to bring about meaningful development in that area, the involvement of these people is a must. From what I see so far, the current leadership is ready for this. When this Zibidar Foundation was established, well-meaning native investors who have a great interest in this education and possess a sense of concern said, we must also do our part. Since building such a school is not something that can be done individually, they said, we must establish a foundation. Thus, they established the Zibidar Foundation. The bodies leading the board have contributed not only with their knowledge, money, strength, and ideas. Some of them, each one of them, contributed about 5 million bear or more in cash. Likewise, to make this school a reality, they provided educational inputs such as chairs, tables, and other inputs, even from their own foundation factories, contributing significantly to fulfilling the interior fixtures. Therefore, the contribution made by this Zibidar Foundation to making this school a reality is very great. Although it was established by a few investors and a few scholars, later, by coordinating other investors and other natives as well, it has made a great contribution.
The
children of Guarage, due to their proximity to urban life and the city, and the progressive attitude of the earlier fathers towards modern education, were among the first to accept modern education, and thus many scholars have been born within their country. To repeat yesterday's success today, incorporating the generation's questions and answers, and also serving as a symbol of Guarage's bright hope, it is currently raising 120 children today. What ensures the quality of education is discipline. When we say discipline, there is student discipline, there is teacher discipline. Inputs are required, infrastructure is required. The biggest thing, however, is that even if the infrastructure is there and the inputs are fulfilled, there needs to be a body that has the desire, the experience, the passion, and is capable of ensuring that by paying sacrifices, translating the educational system, which is designed in policy and strategy, into practice. Since it was believed so, the concerned bodies, the zonal government, the Zibidar Foundation, and beyond that, Wokite University, the Gurage Development and Culture Association, came together and set a direction that if we administer this school jointly, we will bring about results. The church, having taken over the responsibility of administering the school, is currently providing this service. The fact that they are smart will make the children seek different questions and additional efforts and support every day. This, in turn, will cause the teacher to lose sleep trying to fulfill what those children want. In short, it forces him to prepare things that are fitting for them both morning and night. In fact, it becomes an additional cause of effort for the teacher, is what I believe.
Your greatness starts here, Malet.
Your greatness starts here means tomorrow or the day after. All of you want to be great, right? But becoming great is not for you alone. There is the family that educated you so much, there is the country, here are people like Dr. Admasu, all the teachers, the new ones, laboring Saturdays and Sundays, right? Who is this for? It is for you, right? Therefore, if you want to be great tomorrow, consider all the time you invest today, what you work on your discipline, what you cooperate on in the classroom, around the dorm, as sowing a seed today. Tomorrow, you will reach a great place. If someone else wore this uniform, it wouldn't look this good on them. It looks very beautiful on you. It looks very beautiful on you. I am very lucky to see you wearing this today. At another time, we will come and visit you properly. So, as we always say, you are the hope for the country, not just for the family. Having studied today, tomorrow, do not think only of Ethiopia or Africa, you are the people who will compete on the world stage and become great. We are very proud of you. So, on behalf of all the teachers here, especially Dr. Admasu, representing everyone, please thank them once.
First of all, I am very happy to have entered here. Being a first-year student, I am happy. But at the beginning, for about 1 or 2 weeks, I used to miss my family. It used to bore me, too. But now, I have gotten used to it. Since we are also attending education, it doesn't feel like anything to us.
As international experiences tell us, there are 3 key things that make model boarding schools competitive. The first is that the source of boarding schools' competitive capacity, beyond the regular education, is a strong academic foundation or academic excellence. The second is their ability to prepare a strong or superior curriculum and offer programs that meet international standards. The third is that by using institutional experience where students investigate and work on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, areas through which they solve the world's problems, enables them to provide practically based education, which makes them special. Amard Academy has already prepared itself in this regard. The school, furthermore, is very comfortable for students, so we are also very happy. In the future, we hope to reach an even better place, and to enable our country to line up with developed nations in technology and various fields. We will also do our part to the best of our ability. It is good.
We really look out for one another. Things are going great here, and I truly hope it keeps up like this. Compared to where we used to study, the campus is beautiful, and they are still improving it, and the teachers are wonderful. Getting this opportunity feels like a dream. The school is top tier, and the teachers are incredible. Because they have so much experience, they don't just lecture us, they care for us like we are their own children.
By introducing a slightly tailored approach to delivering education, bringing in highly competent teachers, and creating better facilities, we aim to ensure that educational quality can be further guaranteed. This setup creates an environment that inspires students, including local students and their parents alike, to look forward to coming here. It is with this vision that we currently see this institution as a source of great hope. Our thoughts are now focused on how we can expand it further.
ናስፋፋው ወደሚል ናውን አሁን ሐሳባችን ያለው እውነት ለመናገር መምህርነት
To be honest, teaching is a passion for me. I am very passionate about it. I have a great love for the teaching profession. When you look at the fragments of how things used to be, you realize that if other schools cannot maintain standards to this level, the country suffers. Here, however, we have students who are at least very active and possess a better capacity to absorb their education. Nurturing and teaching these children right from the lower levels, starting from the 9th grade, not just in academic subjects but also in strong moral character, provides a much better opportunity. When you see the children's eagerness to learn and their deep desire to acquire knowledge, it fills you with immense joy. I am incredibly happy to be teaching here. If we look at the data from the Ministry of Education regarding students who pass the grade 12 national examinations, we see that almost the vast majority, nearly 90% or more, who pass are from boarding schools. Boarding schools, you see, are especially vital for a rural child. Normally, a student travels from a very distant place to get to school in the morning, spending an hour or two just commuting on the road. In the evening, returning home takes up just as much time. If we consider female students in particular, they spend a large portion of their remaining time at home fetching water, cooking food, and doing chores. Now, however, they stay entirely within the campus. In our region, sadly, even getting proper food can be a challenge on its own. But here, by providing provisions, housing them, preparing their dormitories, and having highly qualified teachers instruct them, these children will become the hope of the country tomorrow. They will be the ones to take over the nation. Furthermore, when the community hears about the existence of such a school, others from the lower grades look up to it. For example, if we look at Amard now, it admits students starting from the 9th grade. Therefore, in the coming years, as Amarda's reputation grows across the Gurage zone, children in the lower grades, all the way down to 7th and 8th grade, will constantly aspire and say, I will pass the 8th grade ministry exam with high marks and join Amarda. This brings multifaceted benefits to the country, to the students, and to the world at large, as these children can grow to contribute globally.
I really want to encourage the current 7th and 8th graders to push themselves and get the best grades possible so they can join us here. The students who come after us are going to have even better facilities than we do. My advice, especially if you are starting in the 6th or 7th grade, is to build a rock-solid foundation now. Work hard all the way through the 8th grade. An opportunity like this doesn't come twice in life. Out of all the schools in the Gurj region, this place is truly unique. There could even be opportunities to study abroad in the future, because the education and the teachers here are so special. So start studying hard right now, learn the material from the ground up, and give it everything you've got.
Our plan for these 120 students is not just to get them into university. Our goal is for all 120 students to achieve 100% in every academic subject they are tested on. That is the vision. Therefore, since our aim is to nurture and produce great scientists, pilots, innovators, and researchers who can make a significant contribution to our country, region, and entire population, we have dedicated ourselves with all our capacity, even though we started this late. We have the potential to achieve this. However, to fully realize this goal, the participation of all our stakeholders is essential. Without being complacent and assuming this work is complete, I would like to take this opportunity to call upon everyone to make their contribution. Consequently, this institution will create a positive impact on the quality of education in our zone in the future, fostering healthy and strong competition. To be sure, even in the absence of a boarding school in our zone, there are students who have studied in regular schools and become highly competitive, winning annual regional awards and achieving top scores, as you well know. If we bring them into this kind of center, gather them together, and teach them, one can easily imagine what the outcome will be.
በዚህ በአማርድ አካዳሚ ውስጥ የሚኖሩ ተማሪዎች
To foster a comprehensive development and global perspective, it is essential to look beyond viewing academic success solely through the lens of passing or failing evaluations and exams. Instead, it is based on adopting an approach that prepares our students for life. Furthermore, it aims to encourage students to manage their own time and academic responsibilities effectively. They are expected to cultivate self-discipline. Accordingly, Amard Academy will soon launch programs focused on impactful community service to foster global awareness and positive change among its students. As I said, let it be taken as its first project in the school, but it is registered with the authority of civil society organizations as working on feeding practices, environmental protection, and education. Until now, its full effort has been on the school. The school, on the other hand, in a very pleasant way, although there were many things that were not completed, really, especially with the high interest of the zonal administration and the high interest of Zibadar, it was made to start, even with its shortcomings, with the understanding that we would complete it. So now, although the power that is not there has been spent on the school, in the future, I hope that it can play a big role in developing the environment. There are matters that demand additional value. As I raised earlier, therefore, firstly, our investors, both inside the country and abroad, both in rural areas and in towns, must keep their eyes on this school. They must assist in whichever way possible. This might not be something that is told to our investors, however, if it is raised as a media, our investors who are both inside the country and abroad. Secondly, for the Gurage descendants who are in the field of technology, this school requires them to approach and assist in the tech field. It must be an institution that is highly organized in a modern way in terms of technology. For it to be a cutting-edge institution in technology, our zonal professionals, descendants in this field, very much value technology. Now there are things we have started, by the way, both inside the country and abroad. With the descendants from the zone who are in this field, there are works we have started. On this part, scholars who can intervene must assist. Thirdly, a fundamental matter, the government will continue with commitment in the way it started. I, here, coincidentally, am a person who is representing the government. The current leadership of our zone and the leadership of the zone that will come tomorrow, I believe, will protect this institution like the pupil of an eye. Beyond that, our community must work on its children. For the children to learn well, in every place, you will enter a boarding school tomorrow, read, to follow up on education must be done. The students inside Amard Academy are ensuring that their age-appropriate development is nurtured. Since they are gathered from various rural and semi-urban localities, it is natural for them to experience a sense of longing for home and an urge to explore the outside world. However, to provide our students with a global perspective and foster cultural exchange, great effort is being made to build strong community relationships. Living together allows them to interact closely with peers, adults, and teachers, which helps them develop lifelong relationship skills and teamwork capabilities. We came from different districts, wardas, and towns. I believe all of us have adapted well now. Since we are mixed together in the dorms with students from various places, it has helped us build a much better and closer relationship. All the educational materials and facilities provided in the school are very pleasing. For instance, if we start with the smart screens, we can watch various educational videos. Even for students who do not have phones right now, they can watch different videos on them. The teachers also use them to teach us in great detail, which makes it very engaging. I hope that by studying here, we will achieve great academic results. Even if there is a longing for family, we just have to get used to it and focus on achieving good results. This environment is great for studying, whether individually or with friends. We can discuss difficult topics together with our friends. I am confident we will achieve great results. By coming here, I have been able to develop my social skills. Back when I was at home, I used to be very quiet. But since coming here and interacting with students in my dorm as well as students from other dorms, I have learned to socialize and communicate better in class, which has greatly improved my social skills. In order to further enhance this effort and bring together young people from our region who lack opportunities but possess great potential, a special initiative was launched. The aim is to create better opportunities for them, build their capacity, and empower them to significantly contribute to the development of our country and local area in the future. To achieve this, the school, known as Amard Academy, was established as a major government project. To turn this project into a collaborative endeavor, the government, the Zibidar Foundation, the Catholic Church, and other institutions were brought together. This organization was established to support these joint activities and empower the youth of the Guarage zone through education. Throughout this process, the initial foundation was laid, the major work was carried out, the main construction was completed, and the planning was done by the zonal government. However, since working together yields better results, it became necessary to involve the private sector. Consequently, the Zibidar Foundation, which brings together local business owners and natives who support this vision, stepped in. Together with the zonal government and the Catholic Church, the Zibidar Foundation established Amard Academy. This institution is making a significant effort to give young people hope for a better future. Now, looking ahead, we are considering how the institution can generate its own permanent income. For example, as you can see, the campus is very large. Fruit trees can be planted, and cattle can be raised. Similarly, the zonal government could allocate land in a key location, such as Welkite City, where a building could be constructed to generate regular revenue. Beyond that, what has truly made a difference in the Guarage region is not a lack of resources, because we have many highly capable individuals, but rather our ability to unite and work cooperatively. There are also other ideas under consideration. For instance, during holidays like Meskel and Arifa, a countless number of people come to the region. But when they arrive, what do we actually gain for the local area? For a long time, the local people have prepared food and provisions, and we simply come, consume those resources together, and leave. We haven't been building things that create long-term value for them. Now, new ideas are being explored. If the people returning to their hometowns contribute even a small amount of money, it would be possible to build not just schools, but even larger development projects.
There is a chance for improvement. Good initiative. Caring for the people in the country, caring for the generation, compatriots with such feelings can come and share their experience with these students. This will help the students grow in all aspects. Currently, we don't want them to come out with just academic knowledge. We want them to be shaped in their morals as well, so that their comprehensive human nature is further enhanced. They should adopt the Guarage culture. The Guarage are known for their humanity. It has a strong culture, it has custom, and it has a culture of work. Therefore, we want them to carry these things with them, not just the academic aspect. From this perspective, those who have a great contribution and experience in this regard can come and share their experience, not only within the school but also beyond. I will contribute my share by sharing my experience. Since I am not an academician, I was not a teacher in the teaching process, so I can't help much in that regard. However, those who were top performers, and who were very exemplary during their studies, and are now in public service, can return, take some time, and teach these students. That would be a great support.
ሌላም ሰው እንደዚሁ አሁን በቅርብ ምረቃ ይደረጋል። በርካታ ምሁራን ባለሀብቶች ይገኛሉ። ይነሳሳል የሚል እምነት አለን። በቃ ያ የተሰባሰበው
Many scholars and investors will be present. I believe this will be a motivation. When the community sees that the collected money is properly used to change the area, we believe many people will understand. In the long run, however, it is not just about aid. The goal is to generate its own income and ensure that its projects support themselves. Amard Academy has been able to organize strong human resources. By adopting practices from model international schools, extensive experience exchanges have been conducted regarding strong academic programs, international curricula, and practical-based teaching methods. For example, in Debre Burhan, there is Heilmanis, in Wolida, there is Lika, in Kembada, there is Figa. Recently, many different people have visited them. Now, what some of them do is prepare students who will enter those schools the next day. When the teaching staff is strengthened in the future, since they will be resident teachers, they might use their free time to assist high school students, creating a mechanism where other students can also come here. The school will not be limited to just one location. Currently, Lika in Wolida has reached 3 or 4 locations. there is also a system of assisting high schools. Therefore, in the future, as ours is just starting this year, we actually opened around October.
ወስኑ አይቀርም ትምህርት ቤቱ አሁን እንደ ወላይታ ያለው ሊቃ 3-4 ቦታ ድረስ ደርሷል። ሃይ ስኩሎችን የመርዳትም ነገር አለ። ስለዚህ ወደፊት ያው የኛ ገና ጀማሪ በዚህ አመት እንደው ወደ ጥቅምት ገደማ ነው የከፈትነው ይጀመር እንጂ ወደፊት የሚቀር ነገር አይሆንም። ሌሎችን የማትጋት
መንግስት ትምህርት ቤቶች ላይ በብዛት የሚታዩ ችግሮችን አሉ። እነዛን ችግሮች
There are problems seen mostly in public schools. By monitoring those problems, when they are resolved here, it proves that students can achieve good results. Whether it is the office or the government body, they should implement and practice these methods in those schools, taking it as a challenge. If those problems are resolved for them every year, students can meet the required minimum criteria. Taking this concept as a primary task, they are expected to implement, monitor, and support it.
ቅድም እንዳልነው በስነ ምግባር የታነጹ በየሙያ
As we mentioned earlier, if we make it our goal to create disciplined youth who are capable in their respective fields, competitive at the global level, and capable of taking social responsibility, and if we want to change the community, whether we call it social needs, economic needs, or sustainable development, it is the wisdom and mindset expanding through a continuous process that changes things. It is technology that changes things. And this is something that comes from education and wisdom. So, if we say we need this kind of tool, we must consider how much budget is required to organize it. This is the direction we need to take.
እንዲህ አይነት ቱል ያስፈልገናል ካልን ያንን ለማደራጀት ምን ያህል በጀት ያስፈልገናል ወደሚል ነው መሄድ ያለብን።
የዘመናት ረጅም ጊዜ ህዝባችን ጥያቄ ነበር አሁንም
This has been a long-standing demand of our people for ages. Even after we started, our people are very delighted that we have created such an institution. This in itself is not enough. There will be things we plan for the future. Tomorrow, schools must be created that produce competent students for this institution. Other schools must be established in every woreda to produce quality.
ሌሎች ትምህርት ቤቶች በየወረዳ መፍጠር አለብን።
ይሄ በመከፈቱ even ሌሎች ልጆች
capable students who move from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. Because this has opened, even other children, in order to get in here, not just those who have already entered, but also to get this opportunity and find a place here, it will motivate them to read more, work harder, and focus right from the lower grades. That is to say, as children become familiar with Amard, they are told that Amard is like this, and that it is an institution working on such academic excellence. This makes them dream of coming here. We can start from that point. Secondly, we must be able to ensure that the generations coming out of here provide the future benefits they can bring to the community. Because many scientists will emerge, many who can work from multiple angles. This is the generation it will produce.
በጣም በብዙ አንግል ሊሰሩ የሚችሉት ትውልዶችን ነው የሚያፈራው።
የአማርድ አዳሪ ትምህርት ቤት ጉዞ ገናውን ተጀመረ እንጂ
The journey of Amard Secondary School has just begun. It is not over. If we nurture these children today, they can solve the world's problems. That is why we say their greatness begins right from this place.
ያልነው
እንዲህ አይነት ተቋም ለማህበረሰቡ ዘላቂ ልማትና መሰረታዊ ከምንላቸው ስጋቶች
This kind of institution is crucial for the sustainable development of the community and to rescue them from what we call fundamental anxieties. We need to create fine, disciplined youth who are capable in their respective professions, take social responsibility, and become owners of the process of alleviating the community's problems and anxieties. This is something every native should understand. Unless there is a lack of awareness, the developmental participation is not weak. However, coordinating and explaining this is necessary. From that perspective, much work is expected of us. In that regard, we consider it as unaccomplished work, coordinating the community on sustainable, community-wide issues, such as expanding this residential secondary school. In the process, everything necessary has been done to raise awareness. Even if it has cost some personal life, it is necessary to work more to ensure that the children and the generation receive the proper education.
በማስፋፋት ሂደት ሁሉም የበኩሉን ጃሳይን የሚያስፈልግ ያህል ተደርጎ ተወሰነ የግል ህይወቱንም ጎድቶም ቢሆን የልጆቹን የትውልዱን ላይ መልክ በማስያዝ ሂደት የሚገባውን እንዲያደርግ መስራት ይገባናል። የበለጠ አካባቢያችን እንዲያድግ የአካባቢያችን ማህበረሰብ ስነ ልቦናው የበለጠ
to make our area grow, to lift the psychological morale of our community, to give them more hope, to ensure our youth find jobs in their area, feel happy, and live with dignity without being displaced or going far. Everyone will contribute their share to create this condition. Our church is also a church that leaves its own mark, and in this way, it has been serving and will continue to serve.
ታዎች ያለማ ነው ጠንካራ ሰራተኛ ነው በርግጥ አሁን የተለያዩ ችግሮች ቢኖር
It has developed many places. It is a strong worker. True, currently there are various problems, but most of the educated Grage people, the youth, leave the area and live outside. If we ask why, it is because the area was neglected. Currently, it seems to me that the area is only visited during Meskal, or to honor a church or a mosque, or for funerals, rather than thinking about developing the area. But now, I think, because we stayed away for a long time, there are currently many movements, various movements. Therefore, for all of us, you know, the good thing is not just for a few individuals to grow. It is when you grow while carrying the entire community. Growing your area means growing your country. Therefore, instead of leaving that area completely, it should be a place where people return, a place that develops. Since it is right next to Addis Ababa, I hope it will be a place where we produce various things and supply them to the city.
የሚመለሱበት የሚለማ አዲስ አበባ ፍንጫ ላይ ነው የተለያዩ ነገሮች አምርተን ለከተማ የምናቀርብበት እንደሚሆን ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ።
አጠቃላይ የሁላችንም ራዕይ የነበረው የብዙ ጊዜ ቁጭት የነበረው
Overall, the vision we all shared, which had been a long-standing desire and a permanent agenda in every council, has now been realized through this Amard Academy. Achieving this level is a great joy for all of us. This institution is established to be an independent and neutral entity. It is led by a board.
Within the board, there is a representative from the zonal administration. The head of Garag Development and Cultural Association is a board member. The school chosen to administer this is the Catholic Church. Since she has a great contribution to education both in Gurage history and at the national level, she has 2 board members. Additionally, the Zibidar Foundation has 2 members, making a total of 9 board members. Therefore, it is organized to be fully independent and neutral. Starting this academy at this level is very good, and its foundational starting point is excellent, but since much work lies ahead, everyone's contribution is needed to make it grow further. Therefore, I call upon the entire Gurage community, both at home and abroad, to contribute to making this vision a reality. I would also like to deeply thank the investors, the Zibidar Foundation, the zonal administration, and all individuals who have contributed greatly so far. What we are discussing now is not just about Amard. It is about the education of the entire zone. Education has been in crisis for a long time. People express our educational crisis through different terms like the breakdown of education, decline in student results, and so on. This breakdown, this decline, this dropping of results did not happen overnight. It is a problem created over a long period. To solve this problem, it will also take time. Today, due to various reasons, a student who has reached the 10th or 12th grade without adequate preparation, while there are children we save through some struggle, if we connect the educational result merely with passing the matriculation exam or passing the 8th grade exam, it is not correct. What I want to convey on this occasion is that since our educational system fell into crisis over a long period, fixing it will take time, resources, and patience. So, in our zone, to pull the overall educational system out of crisis and move it past its breakdown, we must take the strategies and methods designed at the national level, as well as the strategies we shape at the zonal level, and work hand in hand to ensure our zone's education moves one step forward. Everyone must strengthen the struggle they have started. For us it was not like this. We traveled for 4 or 5 hours to reach where we are today. For you, seeing this step is not a small thing. If there are gaps, we are by your side. The one purpose you came for is to refine that knowledge. Apart from playing your part in that knowledge, there is no other task. You must obey everything the school directs you to do. If there are gaps, when you tell us, we can come together with the school principal and the concerned parties to solve them. This is a very pleasant thing, and you should strengthen your efforts in this. The children are showing change from week to week. They are now overcoming the homesickness they had. Initially, they had an attitude of wanting to leave because of homesickness. Whether the food was convenient or not, they have now overcome it. Today, we saw that they are settling in month by month. What I saw today is very pleasing. It is good, continue like this and be strong. We have discussed some existing gaps with the principal, and they will be corrected. Continue with this beautiful work.
My child, stay strong and endure any hardships you face. Remember, you went there for a greater purpose. There are so many people on the outside who didn't get this chance, and they look at you with so much wishful envy. As the very first class of students, the younger kids are looking up to you. They want to learn from your example. So please, leave childish things behind and focus on your work. May God protect you and all your friends.